So today's assignment is about chemical and physical properties. These are terms and stuff you should know. It's right here. And they're on the second page. First things, there's physical properties and then there's chemical properties. Physical properties are things that are like physical about them, like maybe their density, like how heavy they are per volume and stuff like that. So let's just cover over these physical things. So let me see if I can zoom in here. There we go. So hardness, a substance's ability to resist being scratched. So the harder they are, the harder they are to be scratched. So like very common, most people talk about like the hardest thing being a diamond. Like you can't scratch a diamond. Diamonds can scratch other things, but you can't really scratch a diamond. Um, State of matter. Uh, which state a substance is in, solid, liquid, or gas. So there's another physical property. Is a state of matter. Like what is it? Is it a liquid? Is it a gas? Is it a solid? And also at what temperatures they are in those states, So that's also part of that as well. Color and luster. Sorry for the spelling here. This is obviously a British worksheet here. um, color and luster. These properties result from the light a substance reflects. So color is obviously just what it looks like, and luster is its shine. So chrome has a high luster. Chrome is what you might see like a real shiny faucet or something like that. Real silvery, glazy, shiny looking thing, almost like a mirror finish on it. That's the luster of it. Malleability, what does that mean? The ability of a substance to be pounded or rolled into sheets. So aluminum foil is very malleable. So if you take aluminum, you can actually squish it and make it into thin foil. Lead is also very malleable as well. Lead is very soft metal. You can hit it with a hammer and you'll put a big old dent in it because you can squish it real easy. Ductility. The ability of a substance to be stretched into a long wire. Copper has a high ductile because it can be easily stretched into long wire, and that is true. It's really good at that, and that's one of the reasons why copper is used to make wires. Viscosity, the resistance of a fluid to flow. So honey has a high viscosity because it resists flowing. So honey, molasses, those are super thick. Syrup. What else? Sap from a tree. Sap from a tree is technically like a liquid, right? And it drips from a tree, but man, it takes a while because it's so thick. The viscosity is very thick. And then you have other things that are very thin, like paint thinner, alcohol. Those are very, very, very thin fluids. Water is very thin as well. Um, Density, the amount of mass given per volume. So how dense it is. Iron is very dense. A small amount is heavy. Styrofoam has a low density. Even a large amount is still pretty light. So density is just kind of how heavy it is per size. Electrical conductivity, like how easy can electricity travel through it. These are all physical things that they physically can do. Chemically, are things like, does it react with acid? If I put acid on it, will it react? Because some things don't, right? Like for example, glass does not react with acid. That's why when we store acid, you store it in a glass bottle, right? You don't want to store it in a plastic because some plastics will react with acid. You wouldn't want to put acid in a styrofoam cup. It would probably react with it, right? So those are chemical properties. Combustibility, does it explode or burn? So if I put a match on it, will it catch on fire? Some things do, some things don't. Those are chemical properties. Then the third one here, emits light during a reaction. Sometimes when an object reacts, it emits light. That would be a chemical reaction. Sometimes during a reaction, the chemicals get warm during a change, and that would be a chemical thing, a chemical reaction, and reacts with water. So if I put water on it and it reacts, like it sizzles, it bubbles, it rusts, like iron rusts, right? That's a chemical property. So if you're like, hey, does this substance rust a lot? Then that would not be a physical thing, although it looks physically, but it's a chemical reaction. You're changing it. It's bonding with oxygens and oxidizing, and it's at the chemical level, it's actually changing. And so that would be a chemical property. So these are chemical properties right here. So your worksheet today is just this one page right here where you have to say if it's a P or a C, a physical or a chemical reaction. Or, sorry, a physical or a chemical property, I should say, not reaction. If it's a reaction, it's definitely chemical, right? Match the property with the getting too crowded here. Match the property with a substance that displays the property. So, for example, high luster. Oops, it's not there. Right here on the worksheet it says high luster right here. So it shines a lot. Oxygen, no. Sugar, salt, chrome. Chrome, that has a high luster. It's real shiny. Liquid. Oxygen is not really a liquid. It could be, but normally it's not. You have to really compress it and stuff. Aluminum, what's water? There we go. That's a liquid. Okay, so pretty much you're going to fill this out here. This one is you're going to write the corresponding physical property for each of the following. So shatters when it's hit. That would be brittleness. Okay, so if it's shattered when it hits, it's definitely brittleness. And so most of these you can figure out. I was just going to go over that one because, but you know the rest. We went over viscosity, ductility, malleability. Brittleness is how easy it breaks. Hardness, that's how easy it's scratched. Texture, that's how it feels, bumpy, smooth, whatnot. Form, what is form? So look at this, a yellow ruler. I don't know about that. I don't know what they mean by form. I would just save that one for last. Luster is how shiny it is. Clarity is how clear it is, like how see-through wise and whatnot. Odor is a smell. Color, state, like solid, liquid, gas, and taste, obviously, which you shouldn't taste chemicals, by the way. But so taste probably fits right here in the sour lemons. So that's about it, folks.